Well, as I always say all the time, Mondays are usually the most boring day starting the week. However, if you guys are big fans of Stardom, you guys are in the right channel. So today we're going to be catching up with Stardom. First is, of course, is from Okayama that took place back on the 26th, featuring many matches. And then, of course, we head to 2 days later to Korakuen Hall, where they had, of course, a double main event featuring the future of Stardom. Hanako defends her belt against Akira Kuragani of Mi Vida Loca, and then we have, of course, the white belt on the line. Konami of Hate defends it against Hina of God's Eye, which is going to be one hell of a match. So we'll see how things roll up from there. And also, we wrap up our episode as usual with some news updates to give you guys updates on what's been happening in the world of wrestling, such as what events the promotions are throwing out, who's booked, what matches are set, including developments that are happening in the world of wrestling as we speak. So, let's get ready for another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK. In the world of wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If certain information is unable to be on this episode, we can either put it on the next one or on a separate video by itself. We also, of course, do real-time news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also, of course, do Nagi Sayaka Watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us and click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, enough of the jibber jabbers. Let's get to it. So, as I said, it's all about Stardom. Let's begin with the show in Okayama. Okay, Stardom in Okayama. This event happened on the 23rd of February, of course, in Okayama at the Okayama Convention Center. We opened up with Yuriham and Akira Kuragani teaming up, taking on Waka Tsukiyama and Hanako. Now, you can consider this match a preliminary match between Hanako and Kuragani for the future belt. But what's also interesting, for many of you that may remember or not, Kuragani and Yuriham, of course, were part of the same class, but we all know where they ended up. Kuragani ended up with Mi Vida Loca, while Yurihim ended up with Stars. So that makes absolute sense, of course, that they would team up since they are part from the same class. But they're facing a team that have picked up wins more than them, of course, and one person who, in fact, is currently having the championship. And I mean, you would have assumed that someone was going to pick up the win to get the momentum before the Korakuen Hall show, but unfortunately, this match ended after a 20-minute time limit draw. So nobody wins, nobody loses, and of course, there was a post-match promo. Hanako towards Kuragani, back and forth saying things for their upcoming big match. So we'll stay tuned for that. Now, our next match, we have a three-way. We have Maki Ito versus Raka versus Lady C. Now, of course, Maki Ito will do her usual thing, with the headbutt and all that. Lady C bringing her powerhouse, being the tallest woman ever, and not to mention Raka being a member of Hate. She will definitely try to use her usual tactics, using weapons and all that stuff to ensure. But there was a moment you did see Rina get involved, try to obtain Maki Ito to stay outside while giving Raka the chance to apply an inside cradle onto Lady C, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was done. Now, our next match, we have India Sioxes and Tabitha versus Star members Momokoko and Hanan versus, yeah, that's pretty much it right there. I thought the match was pretty great because, in a way, we're seeing, of course, two ladies from Mexico bringing down their usual styles and all that. You would assume that in some ways that Stars, since they are the homegrowns, they picked up the win. But nope, it was Tabitha that picked up the win when she applied like a somewhat version of the leg split moonsault onto Momokoko, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, adios. Next up, we have another tag match. Fuwa-chan teams up once again with her friend and senpai, of course, Azuki. They take on Rianne and Micah, formerly of EXV. Now, obviously, Fuwa-chan and Azuki don't have the necessary experience as a tag team, since Fuwa-chan, as you know, re-debuted back again into pro wrestling. And of course, we are seeing her a bit of improvements with her, but she's facing a team that already has much better cohesion, and not to mention a former champion in this matter, which is Micah. But unfortunately, Fuwa-chan ended up on the wrong side of the Michinoku driver, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, adios. Next up, we have Neo Genesis, all four members, Miyu Amasaki, Azumi, Mason, and Starlight Kid. They team up with Saki Kashima. They take on Ane Kanaya, who she teams up with the Cosmic Angels, consistent of Sayaka Kurara, Aya Sakura, Yuna Mizumori, and Natsupoi. Now, I'm going to presume that Sayuri Anu might have been busy outside of Stardom, either with Oz Academy or whatever, but nonetheless, it was a match. But of course, the weakest link you would have assumed in this matter was, in fact, Ane Kanaya, who, in fact, is basically still a rookie in the matter, even though she came back late last year from an injury. Unfortunately, she ended up losing the match when she ended up on the wrong side of the Black Tiger leg killer by Starlight Kid, and just like that, she just immediately tapped out. Now, our next match is a trios match. We have the members of Hate, consistent of Rina, Natsuko Tora, and Konami, taking on God's Eye, consistent of Hina, Amisuri, and Shuri. Now, of course, Shuri is a fantastic striker. She can definitely kick your head off if she wanted to. Amisuri, with the bit of the powerhouse, you know exactly what she's capable of. And Hina, as you know, she is involved against Konami for the white belt, which is, you can consider this a preliminary. And of course, usual tactics as we normally would see with Hate would always play out. But in the end, it was Hina that picked up the momentum and pinned Konami with the ghetto clutch. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, just like that is over. So Hina picked up the momentum before we head to Korakuen Hall. And that's how things end. Of course, Hina had some words to say in the post-match promo to Konami. And then, of course, Shuri took the mic, closing out the show for everyone. So that's how things are, folks. So let's move on to the next show, which is their big one, is in Korakuen Hall. Okay, Stardom, Korakuen Hall. This is their latest show that took place on the 28th, of course, of February, of course. We opened up with Hate in a 5-on-4 match. Now, Hate members only had 4 on this match. Azusa Inaba, Rina, Uraka, Natsuko Tora, they take on the full force of the Cosmic Angels. We're talking about Sayaka Kurara, Aya Sakura, Yuna Mizumori, Sayuri Anu, and Natsupoi. Now, of course, in a scenario like this, many of you would think the Cosmic Angels should have won this match due to the numbers game. However, we all know the history when it comes to hate. They like to do tactics with dirty tricks using weapons and all that. And that kind of plays out in its way. We did see later on where Natsuko Tora actually blue mist, of course, Sayaka Kurara, and then Raka whacked her with the box. And then after that, a Death Valley bomb by Natsuko Tora, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it's over. But of course, it wasn't over. The Hate decided to beat down Kurara. As you all know, Kurara has her sights set on Kamitani and the red belt. But Kamitani, who I think she may be good at wrestling, but she was too much of a coward to even face Kurara, they decided to beat her down. And Kurara was had that look in her face like telling Natsuko Tora, no matter what you do, I will not stop. But of course, Natsuko Tora doesn't think that she's trying to tell her, don't kid yourself, but she doesn't know her. Remember, I think Kurara has the same kind of not giving up scenario tactic like Tam Nakano. Remember, Tam never gave up until she reached her goals, becoming white belt champion, red belt champion. Even though it's a shame she never got the IWGP women's title. That's something I'm sure we all probably will never have a chance to get to. But we'll see what happens. Now, our next match, we have a bit of a three-way tag team match. We have the Ito Respect Army, I might say, Kiyo Furuzawa and Maki Ito. They take on Gadzai, Kyoko Kotatsu, and Tomoka Inaba. And of course, joining them is Xena and Maika, of course, formerly of EXV. That kind of sets it up right there. Obviously, when it comes to three-way tags, it's chaotic. We don't know how in the hell this whole thing ends because it's unbelievable. But in the end, it was Maki Ito that picked up the win when she pinned what's her name, Kyoko Kotatsu, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it's over. Our next match, we have Ane Kanaya, Rian, and Waka Tsukiyama. They take on Mevita Loka's Izuki Aoki and Rina Yamashita, but they're joined by Saki Kashima. For those who did not see this, they I don't know if they're trying to impersonate Chelsea Green as the president type. We've been seeing with Alba Fire and Piper, dressed up like Secret Service. That's what they were trying to do. And I thought it was pretty fun, but in the end, we did see, of course, Aoki apply like a big splash onto Rian, and then of course Saki was Kanaye, but it was in fact Saki Kashima that picked up the pinfall with the pose, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Now, our next match, we have an interesting trios match. We have India Xios, Tabata, and this other girl I never heard of her before named Kira. They take on God's Eye, consisting of Rane Agami, Lady C, and Ami Sori. And I thought the match was pretty good. But Kira is the one person I haven't seen before. But man, she was fantastic. She actually applied a 450 splash onto Lady C, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it's over. Just like that. Next up, Fuwa-chan and Azuki, they team up. They face against Spark Rush, consistent of course, Takumi Iroha and Suri. So obviously, as you all know, Spark Plush are, if you guys know this, they're trying to rack up some wins for themselves as a strong stable tag team to ensure they get more wins and championships. And I wouldn't be surprised if they will aim for the Goddesses of Stardom, which is the tag belts. But in the end, it was Suri that picked up the win with the double foot stomp onto Fuwa-chan. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, over. Next up, we have the full force of Neo Genesis, Miyu Emasaki, Mei Seta, Azumi, and Starlight Kid. They take on Stars, Yurihim, Momokoko, and the returning Saya Ida and Hanan. Now, of course, many of you remember that Saya Ida took a break for a while and now she's back, but the real question is how 100% she is now. And I have to say, she has built up a lot of percent that she is. I mean, she is back to take some heads off onto people, and that's exactly what she did. She applied a lariat on Amasaki, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, done. Now, our next match, we have the Future of Stardom Championship, which is Kira Kurigani and Hanako. Now, for those who are not familiarized with this belt, I'll give you a bit of description about it. This belt is for the rookies, those who are either in 2 categories that fits in. One, if you are below 21 years old, let's say you've been wrestling since you were 12 years old and up, this is your belt and it fits it. But however, there's another category that fits into that. Either you are above 21 years old and you've been on the learning experience for 3 years, and that those wrestlers are like are like Mina Shirakawa, Unagi, Hanako, of course, is one. Kurara, Sakura, those people are the ones who actually haven't got the chances. But yes, Hanako and Kurigani, as you know, they've been going back and forth with each other, dating back all the way to the war between both EXV and Miva the Loca. But man, Kurigani put up a hell of a fight. I mean, she did not stay down no matter what until Hanako applied the JP Coaster, which was a move that many of you know she inherited from what's her name? Oh yeah, from Himeka. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, it's over. We did see a post-match promo between the two of them, and that's pretty much it. Now our main event is the Wonder of Stardom Championship, aka the White Belt. Hina makes her first attempt for this belt against Konami. Now remember, it was Hina that issued the challenge. Konami, as you know, already defended it maybe 3 times or so, but now she faces against Hina, and Hina really put up a fight. But not to mention, Hate got involved as always, try to use their usual shenanigans. But however, it was Konami that picked up the win by applying a submission, and just like that, she just tapped out. Then, of course, during the post-match promo, Konami was willing to acknowledge that Hina can hit harder. You know, I'm not sure if she respects her for hitting harder or what. I mean, she did state that Rina is a far more better sister than both Hina and Hana combined. But if Hina does hit hard, then she probably is amazed. But we'll see what happens. But as of right now, we are officially done with our reviews. Let's move on with our last and final thing, and that is news updates. Okay, so welcome to our news update. So let's begin with upcoming events, starting with some GCW updates, of course. As you know, on the 7th, which is this Saturday of March in Columbus, Ohio, for So Alive, Bear Bronson will be in action to take on Joshua Bishop. And then the following day, on Sunday, we have the Chicago event, of course, Ransom. Marcus Mathers will take on Mr. Danger. And then, of course, this was announced recently for Joey Janela Spring Break on the 17th of April in Las Vegas, part of the Collective. It was announced that Joey Janela will take on Brody Lee Jr. Yep, the son of the late Brody Lee will be in action too. Now, this was announced, and I feel like this one cannot be ignored. French promotion Banger Zone Wrestling has announced for an upcoming event called Apogi, I think. It will happen on the 14th of March, which is a week from here. There's going to be a winner takes all match, which is a title. We have the Rixie title and the Iwa title. We have Mila Smith taking on Mercedes Monet. Yep, as you all know, Mercedes Monet has won this belt a few months back against Mila, and now it's payback time. So we'll see how that plays out too. Now there's going to be a collaboration later on this month on the 17th of March. We're going to have Mystery Wrestling, which is run by Evil Uno of the Dark Order. He'll team up against, of course, Chris Brooks of Baka Gaijin and Friends. So this is good. I mean, we did see Mystery Wrestling and Choco Pro last year, and now it's Baka Gaijin's turn. So this is going to be a lot of fun. Now, as you all know, there's this new women's division in Pro Wrestling Zero called Rose Pro Wrestling. They just had their first show of this year, and there's going to be another one called Pre-Flag Flag Raising Volume 2 that will happen on the 20th of March, and they just already announced the match card. Let me pull that up for all of you. So they have Yuki Mashiro and Yua Ayasuki of 2AW. They take on the ladies from Colors, Rina Amakura and Saki. Then we have Mei Shiruga of Choco Pro take on Coco of My Way. Then we have Kamehime Raku Misa who's a freelancer, who will team up with another freelancer named Sumika Yamagani, formerly of GTO. Then of course Chanyota will team up with Ryoko Sakimura from Ninyan Yoshi Pro Russo. Then we have Tabitha and India Sioxis from CML will be taking on each other, which is great. And then finally, Kyle Kobayashi will take on Enka of Wade. So that's going to be interesting to see. As you know, more names are being added for the upcoming collaboration between Ring of Honor and Canadian promotion Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling for the Global Wars Canada on the 27th of March in Windsor, Ontario, Canada. They announced that the current AW national champion will be participating. So that's pretty much there. Hold on, I think there's more. As you know, there's gonna a lot ladies' night out. This was announced by Title Network. There's gonna be a ladies' night out 16 at the Sin City Showdown on the 16th of April in Las Vegas. 4 names have been mentioned: Nikki Blackwood, the Blackheart, Jasmine Allure, Arika Demi, and Maddie Max. So those ladies have been confirmed to be announced. And then finally, as you know, more of the Las Vegas shows on the 16th of April for West Coast versus the World. Aja Kong will take on Miku Alana, and then we got Senka Atsugasuki taking on Danny Luna. Now I'm not sure if I did announce this one, but if I did, decided just to remind you guys. Now on to some developments. Lady Frost, Fightful Select, reports that her AEW deal, her contract with them, will be expiring in April. We haven't seen her for quite some time. I know recently she was dealing with the divorce of her husband, Victor Benjamin, the Savage, but we'll see where she goes from there. I'm sure she'll be continuing to wrestle independently. Zara Zakher, who is a local from here in San Diego, of course, has been announced by Fightful Select that she is now returned from wrestling. We know she took a bit of a break, but now she's back. Fightful Select reports a very interesting thing about Zaria. As you all know, Zaria is amongst the batch of women that they collected for WWE. Apparently, she was having visa issues that delayed her arrival here in the U.S. to debut on NXT. So that's one of the things that we later foretold. Now, sad news: Tomohiro Ishii has sustained a neck injury and won't be able to participate in the upcoming New Japan Cup. But later it was announced that Satoshi Kojima will be taking his place. So, get well, Tomohiro Ishii. Fightful Selects reports from via TMZ that Jake Hager, many of you remember him as Jack Swagger, has signed up with Power Slap. Is that company that Dana White runs, where you just slap on the person's face? So yes. Now, good news coming from Tony Khan. As you all know, Ring of Honor will be doing their shows in a full-time studio set starting this year. But he did confirm that they will be doing that full-time. And of course, there'll be the next TV tapings are set off for the next 3 weeks. So there'll be more coming up. So it's going to be great. Now, finally, we did hear from Yuya Uemura talk about wrestlers who left New Japan Pro Wrestling recently. He said this. Let me pull him up. He said, "There's nothing I can do about the guys leaving. They wanted to go and went, and that's their choice, right? But what I have to do is show New Japan's strength to the point they regret that decision, and to say that this is a place to come as you go as you please. This is New Japan. If you leave, don't think you can just waltz back in." So basically, you can tell there's a lot of loyalty towards New Japan about the wrestlers who are there, those who were homegrowns, that sort of thing. Yuta Tsuji is one of those people that also has that kind of mentality as that. I mean, he did not like the idea of having the double championship, of course, having the IWGP World Heavyweight title, so he reverted back to, of course, to the IWGP Heavyweight title. Now, in interesting news, as you all know, recently, last year, Pro Wrestling Zero has announced a new version of Hayabusa. If you guys remember him, Hayabusa is that one wrestler you may have seen in that document from Dark Side of the Ring. about that wrestler who broke his neck and he died almost 10 years ago. However, there's a new Hayabusa that just recently made his appearance last year, and the identity has now been revealed. It turned out that the new Hayabusa is the nephew of the original Hayabusa. This is the information that was given about him. His name is um, Takuro. He plays soccer, of course, for the Jubilo Iwate, that kind of thing. So basically, yeah. So he is the current Hayabusa is the nephew of the OG. So it would make sense because I know that Hayabusa's legacy and whatever it is currently run by his daughter, I believe. If you guys remember, Will Ospreay dressed up as Hayabusa with the blessing of Hayabusa's daughter. So it would make sense that the nephew, of course, decided to continue on the family lineage. But yes, so it's great to hear that more about who he is because I think some people might feel like, why is there another Hayabusa? How would the family of Hayabusa be okay with it? But knowing, oh, so he's family, no problem. So it makes absolute sense. I mean, hope you guys do that. So as of right now, we're done. Let's call it a day. Okay. So I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, as you know, we have NXT, so a lot of things will be taking place. I think we have title matches taking place. Zaria will be taking Jay-Z Jane for the NXT Women's title. What else? Pretty much a lot, but we'll see. I haven't decided if I want to do another review. There's a part of me that wants to do the West Coast Pro, which is the Evil Empire. If I do have an opportunity with that, I'll go for it. But for now, we'll leave things as it is as we go. So until then, I will see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye, and have a nice day. Bang.